Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the most glorious morning here in Djuma Private Game Reserve in South Africa. You're about to jump on board the largest safari vehicle in the world, and I've got a really good feeling about today. The skyline is beautiful, but we're not going to look at it for too long because there is a lot to do today. Good morning, my name is Lauren. Johan is with me on camera, and there's lots of updates from the dam cam. So I'm going to explain them in just a minute, but that's why I'm going to keep moving. I'm not going to stay stationary for too long. So before I do forget, it is not just me out today. It never is. We have a whole team. The other part of the Djuma team is Cedric. He is out and about. We do have Tess in Amakala, and we do have Andrew in Madikwe and Chris over in Pridelands. So it's going to be a very wonderful drive all around. And of course, it's not just live, it is interactive. So please do talk to us. Send in your comments, questions, ideas, theories, discussions. That's what we're all about. We love to hear from you. So all you need to do is head over to the website, WildEarth.tv, register, and then you'll be able to submit your comments. That was for our technician, Max. I always say that this is what Max does all day, but he doesn't. He's our superhero. So yes, please do talk to us. There's lots of things going on with the hyenas, the leopards, the lions. And I am just on a little two-track that I haven't driven in a very long time, but it takes us along a really prominent drainage line. And for 2 nights, I'm mating leopards on the dam cam. Cedric nor I or any of the other vehicles that traverse Djuma have been finding 2 pairs of leopard tracks. We've not been hearing the audio ourselves, or the calls, sorry, should I be saying, the vocalizations that they make. It's quite aggressive. And I'm just a bit puzzled. I don't know if the dam cam is it's a really sensitive mic, and I don't know if it's possibly picking up that vocalization from Buffelshoek. I'm not sure, but either way, Cedric and I are going to investigate. Teamwork makes the dream work. Normally in the past, mating leopards are quite easy to find, because you can hear them, you can see the tracks. They are focused on one thing, and one thing only. They're not thinking about anything else, so they normally are quite easy to locate. But the dam cam is such a wonderful tool, but the mic picks up sound from very far away. Helen, good morning. You are strapped in. Yes, you need to be. These bumbos get quite bumpy, and you're ready to go. I'm so happy to hear that. Hopefully it's a good one. It might take a little bit of work this morning, but I do believe we're going to get there. And this is a drainage line that we know oh so well. I just wish we could know from the dam cam. I wish I had a tool that told you the direction of sound. Where is that sound coming from? North, south, east, west. Kelly, good morning to you too. You're streaming live from Texas. Howdy, partner. I don't think you actually say that in Texas, but I'm going to pretend that you do. I actually spent some time in Austin back in the day, and I loved it. Loved it, but I put on a lot of weight. I ate a lot of food. My goodness. But yes, I do love Texas. Okay, I'm going to keep bumbling and just see what we can find this morning, on this gorgeous morning that it is. But on that note, let's take a look at the weather across all locations.
Yes, it is a beautiful, beautiful day all this morning. On Djuma Private Game Reserve here in the Sabi Sands, of course, in the beautiful South Africa. Good morning, everybody. My name is Cedric, and behind the camera with me, we've got Odie. And of course, we are awesome. All right, so I'm standing outside here On Central, I'm just right behind the dam wall area, and I know that Lawrence said it sounded like those leopards might have been coming from Buffelshoek, but I sat outside my room last night from about 8 o'clock right up to about 11 o'clock, actually listening to those leopards calling. And they were calling rather in this drainage line that is behind the dam wall area. That's exactly where I picked up that audio of those leopards mating last night. So I don't think it's in Buffelshoek. It would be a little bit too far for me to hear if I was sitting outside my room. But yeah, so what I'm going to do this morning, I'm going to go very slowly around this area. I'd love to see exactly which leopards is busy mating around here. It could be very interesting. You must also remember that females will follow males out of their own territory to actually mate with those males. So sometimes you'll find females like Kara, maybe, I'm just saying, just throwing a long shot, even Langa would even move out of her own territory just to follow a male. As long as she can mate with him, that's the main thing. And once after 5-6 days of mating, she'll return back to her territory. So I've seen that many a time. So yes, it will be very interesting to see exactly which leopards are mating this side. If it is the male, I'm sure it's more Whitey because he is the dominant male of this area. A male won't leave his territory, but a female will. So yes, I think that is going to be my plan of action this morning. So I'm on Central. I'm going to head a little bit further down this drainage line, stop at certain areas and just listen out, because big thing, if you can pick up on the leopards mating or the noise itself, you can really pinpoint exactly the area and where they are. So I'm hoping, crossing fingers, holding thumbs, that we are going to be fortunate this morning finding those leopardos. Alright, so I think I'm going to jump back onto El Rusty and let's start moving slowly down. I'm going to head towards that big jackalberry tree. It's a nice little spot there, nicely lofted. You can also hear, got 2 drainage lines in that area. I've got a feeling they're in a drainage line. That's how, from last night, the noises, it seems like it came from this drainage line all the way towards the more Whitey drainage line. So let's go take a look. Yes. And as you know, for me personally, when people always ask me what's my favorite sighting, my favorite sighting is always leopards mating. Dream wild? Wild? Dream wild? Dream wild. Let's say dream wild. I'm sure it's dream wild. Dream wild, yes, it is a lovely time of the day. Early morning, and get all the new action happening. Whatever was happening last night is pretty much now, you know, where we can start following up on that. But yes, Dream Wild, let's take a look. It's a little bit chilly. Of course, it is winter, so it's still a little bit cold. I'm also trying to look for tracks, but when they're mating, they don't move too far. They usually hang around in just one specific area. So let's take a look. And I had leopard tracks coming up at Spaghetti Crossing yesterday afternoon in the Mulwati coming into this direction, so it's all kind of making sense, but we just have to try and listen out. Very important. They usually mate every like 15-20 minutes, sometimes even 5 minutes. So let's see if we can hear some leopards mating, which would be fantastic. As I said, I want to just quickly try this big jackalberry tree, stop a bit here, listen out again. Laura Cam, good morning. Yes, it's always nice to listen out for a good investigation in this area, especially if it's mating leopards. I mean, that's always my ultimate sighting. Always has been and always will be. So yeah, let's just keep our eyes and our ears open and try and see if we can find anything in this vicinity. I might go a little bit down Central again and just do a little loop. If not, then I might start taking a walk in that drainage line. I might just go and have a little bit of a trot there, get my shoes dirty and wet, and then take a look. Alright, yeah, we are this big jackalberry tree now. Let's Let's just listen out here. I'm just going to put off here for a few minutes and listen out again. Of course, this big jackalberry. We're sitting, a lot of you do know that Lumber's been seen up here quite a few times, and Maripsa has been seen up here. So this is quite a iconic tree here on Djuma. It's also where we last saw Tlelumba's two youngsters before they disappeared. You can see very thick drainage line. There's going to be like looking for a needle in a haystack.
It does look a little bit on the tired side, doesn't it? His eyes look very, very exhausted. Oh my goodness. Oxpecker, you're almost the size of that impala's head. Be gentle. Just be slow. Still learning. Here we go. Getting another spot that the impala can't often reach. Right near where the horns is just starting to push out. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, it's a little one. It's a juvenile. And it's also joining the party, waiting for somebody to feed it. Yes, flappy feathers. Oh, shame. I can't get rid of them. Look at them, like they're having an argument. No, you leave me alone. I said, don't go there. Shame, little one. You might have to buck and rear to be able to get those birds off. Holding on nice and tight to your fluffy fur.
But essentially, the females are always bigger in the realm of spiders. So I think this is a garden orb, but I am hoping someone can clarify it. What is she up to? Wow, look at those views, Dobby. Louise thinks it looks like a damselfly. I can't really see from where I am. And considering I came here a very dramatic arachnophobe, I'm very proud at how far I have came. So with the golden orb web spiders, the females are said to reach 30 millimeters in length, and the males only go up to 5 millimeters in length. So there you have it. There is a drastic size difference between male and female. He looks like a tiny little dwarf in comparison to her.
Well, that was pretty epic. He even got up for us. He's definitely looking for the rest of the lionesses. There she goes. She's hoisted. This, you, careful. Oh, she made it. She made it. She's just gonna make sure that thing doesn't slip. Oh my girl, you go. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. You're doing so well. Come on, girl, you're doing so well. There she goes again. No, no, no. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. She's holding on. Oh. Like a cat, she made it on all fours.
All right, we just found Mohawk up the road. Yeah, old Mohawk, a male lion. And he's slowly moving down the road here in front of us. You can see him there. All right. He's just stepping around. And he's now going central. He's heading back towards Gari Dam. But he's moving very slowly. He's not really in a rush. He's just sniffing around. I'm going to stop. There, you might go behind that bush. Let's just go here. Oh, let's go here. Let's stop here. Good morning, boy. How beautiful is this? Hey, having all this male lion so early in the morning. As I say, he's heading straight towards Gari Dam. Interesting that he's been up and down here. Usually, if you think about a male lion, he would move quite far during the night time, but it seems like he's interested in something here. Something is bothering him, so that's why he's like back and forth here, maybe for the last day. So I know he came in here yesterday morning. Of course, this is one of our dominant males of the area. He used to have two other brothers, but unfortunately they have passed. Now he is very much a single male. And yes, well, he's got a beautiful pride that he usually hangs around with. That's called the Nkuhuma pride. But the last I heard about the Nkuhuma pride, they went far southeast. Okay, yes, and like still in the same, sorry, I just tried to look behind me, maybe there's something else there, but yeah, still the same area. Alright, let's try and go ahead. Still wandering by himself. Very interesting, no, very interesting. I would know, like, male lions, look, if they're not successful with that buffaloes last night, you know, then they'll push off and try and locate the pride and all that. But for him now coming back this side again and still hanging around close to Gari Dam, very interesting. Alright. Well, sometimes following them like this is when you usually look around and maybe we pick up on it's mating. So yes. Anna Marie, it's nice seeing this beautiful male, isn't it? I'm very chuffed this morning. What a great start for our Thursday morning sunrise safari. Alright, so he's going to go on Central, and he's going to head straight back to Gari Dam. I think this just trying to get up this bank here. Alright, I'll just stop here. So yeah, we just got to follow him for now. But he is listening out all the time for something. You can see he's stopping, listening, and then he moves again, and he stops and listens. So we're coming up to the junction of Gari Cut Line and Central, if you know the area. see if we can go past him and get a nice walk by. That's what I'm feeling like, eh, Odie? Let's see if we can do that. There's open spaces around him there, so it's perfect. Mr. Mohawk. So, what's he now? 10 years old. Good age for a male lion. Male lions usually will get to about 12, 13. Oh, look at that light behind him. Isn't that so? We're going to turn, huh? Oh, let's just take a look at that. What do you think? Like that already? Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful shot of him. Oh my word, this is like a photographer's dream with that golden light. Here he comes now. Oh, look at this. Yeah, Michelle, when it comes to mating leopards and all that, and they're making a noise, I'm sure, it is going to grab his attention for sure. But nothing too substantial. It won't like, okay, now I have to go take a look there now and, go and sort that situation out. No, he will most probably tend to pick up on that, maybe take a little bit of interest, go maybe investigate, and that's it. But yeah, you never know. And so I might, at the end of the day as well, I might actually end up going down further if we do lose him. Go down there on Central, because we just found him on Central now. And so, yeah, I might just go down there later on and see. I'll go and investigate. Alright, we're going to try and get a nice walk by here. So what I'll do, I'm just going to see. Let's see if we can get a nice walk by from him. Oh, here he comes. This is going to be beautiful. This is going to... Look at this. Always nice when a male lion is coming towards you. He's taking notice of something now. Definitely taking notice of something. You can just see him head up, listening into this drainage line. He's even tiptoeing now. Well, okay. Well, we have to head over to Tess, so she wants to say good morning while we reposition.
Oh, good morning, everybody. Sounds like a very successful morning so far in the Sabisat Nature Reserve. But welcome to Amakhala Game Reserve. We are down in the Eastern Cape. We started our morning with something a little bit intimidating, thorn trees. But we're hoping it's going to be a good day regardless. My name is Tess. Behind the camera is Morgan. Thank you for joining us. It is a chilly, chilly morning. There was a massive thunderstorm last night. We got a lot of rain, and there's a lot more coming towards the weekend and right the way through to next week. So we're taking advantage of a little clearing while we have it. And we're admiring the sweet thorn. And this is a particularly mean-looking branch because all of the leaves have been stripped off of it. So all you can see is these massive, massive thorns. The new scientific name for this one is Vachellia carew. It used to be Acacia carew. And actually the reason I wanted to show you is not just because these thorns look impressively terrifying, but actually because, thanks to the rain, the sweet thorns are smelling absolutely beautiful, which is quite strange because they don't flowers at the moment. And yet for some reason there's this gorgeous sweet smell emanating from the bush this morning. You wouldn't think that something that looks so scary can actually sweet and that it can be tasty. But actually that's the reason why it looks so scary. The thorns are there to intimidate. It's hoping that the thorns will be enough that animals don't want to eat it. Unfortunately for the sweet thorn, giraffes love them anyway, and so do elephants. They can get around the thorns either using the trunk or the tongue for giraffes obviously. And they have a very, very nutritious meal waiting for them because the tree spends most of its time and energy growing thorns instead of adapting other ways to try and divert animals' attention. But quite a scary looking start to the morning. Some of those big thorns are easily the length of my palm. And I think that big one sticking up to the right is probably longer than that. They are quite massive and actually very, very useful. Used to be used as sewing needles. Also great to use as any form of pointer or pen, so you can actually dip the tip in any colourful fluid and try and make yourself a drawing. But a really, really different looking start. Dark Mane Lover, good morning. Thank you for the warm greeting. It is a little chilly, so we need it. And yes, this does look very painful. Now, they're actually pretty strong thorns, and in fact, the thorns are kind of modified spines, so part of the actual stem itself. But they are really, really hard, so you don't want to be stepping on one of these. I suppose it's handy then that most of the animals out here have hooves to try and prevent that from happening. But I can tell you now, if you step on this in a hurry, it's going to go right through your foot. So maybe don't try that. But it does give you a huge respect looking at it that way for things like giraffes that will fearlessly walk through sweet thorn thickets and wrap their tongue around a branch that looks like that. It's definitely not something I would do, and it's not something I'd recommend. But if you're a giraffe, it is therefore time for breakfast.
Not everyone gets excited to hear a leopard chuff, spot a pangolin, or see a real impala rut. But if you are wild about the wild, you can become part of a community of like-minded nature lovers and share authentic wildlife experiences with the world. Join the Explorers Club and you will also enjoy the many benefits that come with it too. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
are feeding at the moment. I am Sydney Pumulani Mikosi. I am live from the western side of the Greater Kruger National Park, Sabi Sand. Look at that lion. He's trying to come now. He's running very fast to come and disperse the hyenas at the moment. Look at that. The lion is now. The lion is trying to fight. He's biting the hyena at the moment. This is so sad. Look at that. The lion is catching the hyena. This is so sad. That hyena is badly injured. Look at that. Now the lion is coming back to the kill which was eaten by the hyenas. Not too sure. Maybe these hyenas got this kill from the lions. I am not sure what happened here, but that was something else. The lion came running aggressively and started to attack the hyenas right by their territory.
Good morning and welcome everybody. It's a nice fresh start out here in Madikwe Game Reserve. I hope everybody is well today, and I hope we're going to see many things on the safari this morning. What a beautiful sunrise it is. So good morning again everybody. My name is Andrew and Mr. Mpo behind the camera, and it's our last day. But yeah, let's watch the sunrise over here. Now, we are just watching this beautiful sunrise here in Madikwe Game Reserve, and we started this morning with a little bit of chill in the air. It's a little bit of a cold one this morning, and so I think it's going to be quite a nice warm day today. Just excuse us, we're just going to wipe the lens there. Now, a lioness was spotted not too far from us, just on the other side of Madikwe Safari Lodge. So over the hill, we're going to see if we can't maybe see her this morning. Apparently she's been walking quite a bit, and the ranger, or the guide rather, who saw her initially, he's lost sight of her. So we're going to go up there and we're going to see if we can't pick up the trail again and maybe follow that trail and see what she's up to. We're keen to see as much as we possibly can. Many of you will know that this is Mpa's and I's last day here at Madikwe Game Reserve, and somebody else will be taking over from tomorrow's sunrise drive. So yeah, we've got a full day to see as much as we can. William from the UK, yeah, you're very far away, all the way from the UK. Believe it or not, but my brother from the UK, from London, or that's where he's staying. He's from South Africa, but he's staying now. But yeah, it's beautiful here. It really is nice, and you'll notice that most of the naturalists will really, it's in the morning and the late afternoons to show you the sunset and sunrise. Why not? How could you not? It's too beautiful, and it's definitely a big part of our survival. The sun. Without that sun, none of us would be here on Earth. Earth would be probably a very cold planet with nothing growing, no life whatsoever. All water sources would be frozen over. So yeah, we are in that Goldilocks zone. So we're in the perfect distance away from we're not too close to the sun, and we're not too far away from the sun. It's ideal. And because Earth has got water, that means plants can grow and develop an atmosphere, and that is why humans can be sustained on Earth. It's amazing how important plants are, not just for us to breathe. That's the one side of it, but the other side of it is creating an atmosphere. Without plants and fresh water and the sun, it can't be done. Beautiful morning. We are really looking forward to getting a little bit north from here. We are going to see if we can find that female lion. Yes, but we'd also like to see if we can't push our luck a little bit with the female cheetah with cubs. Yeah, we'd like to see her before we go, and her cubs. And then yesterday morning, right at the end of the sunrise drive, we surprised everybody with that one lioness that has got 3 young cubs. Beautiful. So I can hear some red and yellow-billed hornbills calling, and then the white-browed scrub robins, of course, without fail. And then a grey lory, or a grey go-away bird is the new name. All right, we just need to wipe the lens again, Shane. We are battling with some foggy air this morning. Causes a little bit of problems on that lens. Now, we spoke the other day about the next naturalist who's going to come in, and I wanted all of you to guess and throw your thoughts about who you'd like to come, who you think is coming, etc. And many of those came through. So if anybody would like to throw in their last minute guesses, who's going to be coming in here next, be interesting to hear about that. Just wonderful. What a morning it's going to be. Ryan from Australia, it looks like that sun is at the bottom of a bowl. Yeah, it's busy rising, so maybe it's a little air bubble or something. No, it's really beautiful. It's getting a bit strong now. But when we start in the mornings and we just start to see that sunrise, it is one of the most beautiful things you can ever see. Not just, here at Madikwe. I mean, you can see sunrises wherever throughout the world. Okay, we're just going to wipe the lens again. We are just going to wipe that lens again. You're busy this morning, Wisdom Paul? You should get one of those, what do you call those things? Those windscreen wipers for the lens. You just press a button and it wipes the lens for you. I think the Juma camera has that, isn't it? Gwen, doesn't the Juma camera have a windscreen wiper? I think I remember that. Very nifty. I call it a windscreen wiper, but it's not even a windscreen. It's a lens for a camera. It's a lens wiper, rather. Thanks, Gwen. Gwen says she does. It does. Good one. So from one side, we're going to the other side with my good friend Chris. He wants to say good morning to you there.
Well, good morning everybody. Very nice, cold morning, but sunny out here at Brightlands. And we are trailing some lions. There was a lot of lion vocalizations that came from the east, just east of the camp. And we are now just checking here all around there to see if there's not perhaps any tracks. My name is Chris, and with me on camera is still Gert Burger for this morning. And our plan is to try and find those lions. It sounded like it could be young lions, maybe 2 or 3 at best. And I'm just checking this road for now to see if there's not perhaps tracks that moved over here. Some of the other safari vehicles have, in fact, reported some tracks. 2 lions, looked like a young male and a female. And the tracks are heading back towards where our camp is situated, right smack in the center of the conservancy. And that is where we are heading soon. But it is a very cold morning, and that's one of the reasons why we are also parked here. Well, Gert is parked, I'm out on foot. Also, it gives you opportunity to listen out, because it sounds like they're calling the rest of the group, of the Ngati Pride, and that's what I'm hoping for. Firstly, to see tracks, but also we want to use all the senses available. And in this case, sound is very, very important for us to try and locate these lions. And that's why we do pause every now and then. Cindy from the US loves my enthusiasm. Oh, thank you so much, Cindy. Yeah, well, it's a lifestyle, you know. And, we look at the beautiful glow of the sun there. I'm just checking for some more tracks in the back. If there's nothing, we will continue in a minute or so and keep driving. And right, yeah, I think let's not waste too much time. Let me get onto the vehicle, start moving towards where those sounds came from. Hopefully we can find this line, but let's go over to Tessa now, who's got an animal for us.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Good luck on the lion search. It's always a cool thing to be on a cat search this early in the morning. On this side, we found a very, very strange looking red hartebeest. He has been stuck in this position for ages. He moves. He's alive. We were getting a bit concerned because he initially stopped to urinate and he just did not stop. And then when he stopped, he just didn't move. It was like he was frozen in position. But alas, it seems he's woken up now and is moving off. He's following a very pregnant-looking female into the thickets, and it seems like they are on a mission to get out of this open area, which makes my spidey senses tingle. I feel like the cheetahs are around. So while Chris is looking for lions, we are going to be looking for the cheetahs, Carla, because people didn't have any luck with them yet. I don't really know where they went. They were around this area in the morning and then all of a sudden they were gone. So that I have a feeling they're on a kill. But they're just really nicely hidden. Also what makes me think that is this particular clearing that we are in, that these hartebeest are moving through. The hartebeest don't normally sleep here. They sleep in a different area of this particular section of Amakhala. So if they're not sleeping in the usual spot, why aren't they sleeping in their usual spot? Why have they moved? Maybe because they feel intimidated or nervous. So I think we're in a good spot. I think we're going to be spending the morning looking for the cheetahs that are looking for the hartebeest. But I suppose a very cool way to start the morning because red hartebeest are such a pretty colour in the sunrise.
Did you know that the WildEarth team makes weekly behind the safari content? Would you like to get to know the WildEarth family better? See how we live.
This is Igor's bedroom.
Learn about our production process. And see the antics that happen off camera. Sign up to be an explorer and you will get access to all this content and more.
Hello, my name is Maurice. I am from Perth in Western Australia.
Hello, I'm Stéphane. As you can hear, I am French and I'm doing the 35 days online course.
I started watching WildEarth during COVID. I decided that I wanted to study more, and in order to do that I saw that Eco Training Friedlands was doing courses, and I decided to do the 8-week online theory course at the end of last year.
So the 35 days course, it basically starts with theory online, 3 sessions a week. Very enjoyable. We went really deep into it. Very holistic as well. Really enjoyed it. It goes from insects to stars to obviously your mammals and your birds. I liked the 2 components. It just got me really well prepared before I got here.
Despite my accents and my misunderstandings, everyone has been very helpful and comprehensive to help me to understand everything.
Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out on your journey towards becoming a conservationist, our digital courses offer a flexible and accessible way to deepen your knowledge and understanding of the natural world. So why wait? Sign up for an eco-training digital course today. Start your journey towards a more sustainable and connected future today.
Well, we're still sitting here with this beautiful male lion, or mohawk, and as you can see now and again he's lifting his head up and he's just sniffing the air and he's just picking up on some kind of smell that's coming through. I'm not too sure what. Of course the buffaloes have passed, they're nowhere to be seen, so I'm sure he's not really sniffing for any buffaloes around, but maybe he's picked up on something else. So we are just sitting here very patiently and to see if he is going to move again to whatever he's smelling. So nice to see this male lion so early in the morning, but it is going to start heating up very soon, and especially with the lions, if it's a hot day they tend to go and rest somewhere in a nice shady spot for the day, and then later on tonight, once it starts cooling down, it starts becoming a little bit darker, you'll find that they'll start becoming more active. But you never know. I think for now, he hasn't gone to lie down flat as of yet. His head is still up, he's still now and again sniffing the air. And they've got fantastic sense of smell. So what he smells and what he's picking up on is something that I've got no clue. That's because we can't smell anything. I just smell bush. Like a nice dry grass and leaves. That's what I do. That's what I smell. Das was a Josh. Josh. Joss. Joss, yeah, it is. Can imagine if he's alone like this now, and he gets 2 of the black dam males coming into the area. Oh, Josh. Yes, I mean, if you've got the 2 new males that's recently, over the, I think, last several months, there's 2 young males that's come into this area. You know, now if you've got 2 males against 1, it's a problem. You know, he hasn't really got any backing now. I mean, his pride and his sons and everybody is nowhere close by. Not that we know, but the last I heard is that they went very, very far southeast from where we are now. So yes, that could be very tricky for him, and could be very dangerous for him, because now he hasn't got any backing, nothing. He hasn't got his 2 brothers anymore, and for him, if he bumps into those 2 young males, more stamina, more energy, but you must also remember, Mohawk is a I can say, experienced male. He's experienced. 10 years old, being in the bush, you've got a lot of experience. You're going to know what to do. You'll know how to fight if you have to fight. So he's got that as an advantage. That's how I always say, like, lions here in the Greater Kruger Park, for me, they are like the fighters, because they are always bumping into nomadic males, and even when they were young, when they were nomadic, they had to also fight their way into an area to, claim a territory. And yes, even these three brothers, or the Vokers, they were known as the Voker males when there were three. That's Mohawk, Darkmane, and Blondie. When they came into the area, yes, they had to fight off the Birminghams from the side to proclaim this area as their territory and push them further south into Londolozi, into Singita area. So I always say the Greater Kruger Park Lions, they are fighters. Experience. Wow, alright, well, looks like everyone's having some success with lions, so while we're going to sit here with the Mohawk for a little bit longer to see what's happening here, let's head over to Chris in Pridelands as he had some lion luck.
Wow, I couldn't have scripted better myself. Well, we managed one young male lion, and it is indeed one of the sub-adults from the Ngati Pride. And it is calling. And there was another lioness sub-adult being seen closer to our entry gate, and I think or suspect that this lion is calling to try and rejoin with that lioness. Okay, it seems like he's now gone down. How's your visual there, Gert? I'm just looking through a sickle bush here. Not bad. Okay. Let's move a little bit closer. You guys can stay with us. It's relatively open here, so I'm just going to try and see if we can't get in. Just need to go in a little bit. There's a nice gap here. It's relatively open. Anyway, so with those, you're going to quickly see Gert just wiping the lens. There's a lot of dew at the moment. But while Gert's wiping the lens, remember that the Ngati Pride has been broken up and disrupted into smaller groups with the arrival of the two new males. And that's caused interesting dynamics. And we are monitoring it at the moment. We can't really conclude what's going to happen. It's going to be a process. I'm delighted that we actually have a line. I think I'm going to just arc around it. It's perfect to get that side of it because of the light, but there's bush there. Just going to turn a little bit and then we can frame it up there. The light is a little bit... At least we can get some side light on it. Right, I think this is probably our... See if we can't get around it. David, wild thing, reckons the Catman has struck again. No, look, I can't take all the credit. As always, I haven't tracked this animal myself and Gert. It was found. We were part of the search. But, no, look, I always give credit where it's due. I didn't find the animal. But we were part of about 3 vehicles that were looking in the area. And it's a collective effort. No, this is definitely not one of the new males that arrived. This is one of the Ngati Pride's sub-adult males. These 2 lions were right next to our tents last night at some stage. We just passed the students and they were with one of the instructors reconstructing the tracks, and they were literally 2 meters from my tent, according to the tracks. I heard them growl at something last night. Not sure if it was a hyena or growling at each other, I don't know. And I also heard them roar, very softly, but... Helen wants to know if the sub-adults are old enough to form coalitions. Helen, so basically what is going to happen normally in a lion pride, lion males of this age will still kind of like remain in the area, but systematically they'll move away. The reason will be that their mothers within the pride will become more and more intolerant of them, but also if their fathers are still around as a coalition, will even be less tolerant of them. They will at this age they will chase them anyway. They have to leave. I'm getting back to the question just now, just giving a bit of background. In this case, where we have new males that arrived, it's the same thing. These males are not going to tolerate them. They need to move away. Otherwise, they will be killed. Right, and that's what's happening at the moment. They just staying clear of these big males. But yes, at this age they do start to form coalitions with related males mostly from within the pride. But it will take years before they'll be able to establish themselves as a territorial coalition. So while they do start forming coalitions at this age, as they eventually slowly move further and further and further away from their birth area, they stick together and hunt together as a coalition, but it will take a few years. They get to about four-ish. That's when they feel they can start challenging other males for possession of the territories. And this is where a lot of these young males, in fact, do lose their lives. So you can see He's constantly listening out, then taking a bit of a nap, and then out again. So I think he's trying to find the other young lioness, which is very likely either a sister or a cousin of his. That originated from the same group, the Ngati pride. So perhaps that young lioness is also scared of the big males. Because what will happen when these big males enter an area, the young lionesses that are not yet fertile or ready to breed, they will also chase them away and try and at times even kill them. They cannot have lionesses in the area that cannot breed. They have to start immediately. The moment they take over an area, they need to start breeding. Why is that? Because they themselves only have a limited couple of years where they'll be strong enough to hold on to such coalition and territories.
Okay, so we are keeping it moving at the moment because we are still looking for that female lion that was seen. Apparently she went up one of the hills and she's been known to have cubs. So I'm not sure which lioness it is, but yeah, it makes sense that if she's got cubs and she's going up hills, she's probably left the cubs up in the hills. So we are going to go sort of towards these hills area over here and just check, see if she might not have come down. Yeah, so it'll be quite a nice plan for this morning for now. If we don't come right on that side, then we'll just go and turn around, go back north, and then we'll just continue looking for the female cheetah with cubs this morning. Yeah, otherwise, all in all, it is a great morning to be out, even though it's a little bit crispy, a little bit damp in the grass. It's very fresh this morning, and it's a pleasure actually to be out. We've seen so many birds this morning. Sorry, I just need to answer this radio. Really, that's a good question. Sorry, I was about to answer the radio, but I don't think they're calling me anymore. Yeah, it's male lions that are not the fathers of those cubs. They're going to kill those cubs. It's a simple reason, because that male lion wants to, breed with the lionesses that he's found, and if they've got cubs that are not his or are his, whatever the case may be, they will not go into a condition. So any cubs that don't belong to him or not his genetics, he's going to wipe them out and then stay with the lioness until she goes back into a condition to breed again, and then he's going to mate with her, which will be soon after, and then she'll get pregnant with his cubs. So in the animal kingdom, when it comes to lions, they don't want to raise offspring that is not theirs, because it limits their chances of promoting their own genetics, and that's not good for them. So they're very much not tolerant of cubs that are not theirs. I've never seen such a sighting. I've got a friend working in the Timbavati. He managed to see with his own eyes a foreign male lion came into an area, took over a pride and killed 2 cubs right in front of him. Yeah, crazy. Just thrashed them, hit them with a paw and bit them, and they were dead. Yeah. It's a cool area that we're in. Myself and Mpho, we've used this road quite a bit. Even Mpho can identify it when we're driving. And it's such a cool road because it's been so productive in the past, with cheetah, other general game as well. We have seen lions and elephant here before, so it is a nice area. Okay, just keeping my eyes really peeled out here. You've got to really look hard when you're looking for a lioness that is walking through a thicket. It's not going to be easy, that's for sure. So I think, the radio broke up a little bit there. I heard someone mention something about wild dogs, and that would be awesome, I think. Wild dogs, any time of the day or night, you can guarantee we will go there. We've only seen wild dogs once. We've been very close to seeing them 2 other times, but we've seen them once while we've been out here. Yeah, this time of the year with wild dogs, the activity of them does because now they're beginning to den, or maybe they've already started to den, I'm not sure. And Yeah, so the activity does decrease quite a bit. But yeah, once the pups start to grow and can move around quite nicely, yeah, that pack of wild dog out here, they move all over the place. You can't believe it. Okay, we're going to carry on looking for this lioness, keeping fingers crossed, but let's go to Lauren in the meantime.
Oh, I don't have anything, but we have had quite a productive morning. We've had some technical difficulties, but I have checked the entire drainage system behind our camp, if you like, the Djuma camps, as far as I could. I'm not picking up on any leopard tracks or any vocalizations. There are obviously mating leopards, I just can't think which area to work for them. We visited the hyena den on Mvubu. So for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay. It's just an old hyena den. And it's looking quite good in terms of structures. Not active with hyenas, but it's still a good looking den. Brought back lots of memories. But now we are actually on our way to the hyena den. Scratched around and Cedric, I just remembered Cedric also heard the vocalization, so I believe it's coming from the north, but as to where, I really couldn't pick up on anything. And I do just want to check in at the hyena den because, of course, it seems like there are lots of interesting dynamics that side too. They seem to be spending a lot of time at night time on Djuma, which is wonderful. But we're not seeing them during the day, really, so the only option we have is to visit the communal den. Linda Polly! Yes, hyenas are on your list for today, and maybe Tlalamba. Well, we're on it, Linda, just for you. We are on it. We're on our way to the hyena den now, and Tlalamba has been a little bit tricky right now. She's been a tricky cat to find and follow, but we're on it, don't worry. I want to spend as much time with her as I can in these 2 weeks. I'm not going to speculate about who's mating yet because I really don't know. I haven't heard the sounds and I really don't know. It's fascinating. It's amazing what you miss at night time. But I'm really hoping that this den will be active. It is now 20 to 8. The sun is up. But luckily it's not hot. So a lot of the animals will just be relishing the sun right now. And hopefully June doesn't disappear, expecting us to babysit again. Sorry, I just saw a huge bird flying in the sky there. I thought it was going to come this way, but it's obviously landed. I wonder what it was. They don't move dens as probably as much as you think they do. I can just see this bird. I'm going to pull up here, have a look through my binos. But especially if you've got lots of cubs in there, Henry, it's going to get smelly after a while. It's going to build up. There are sort of going to be parasite loads, and maybe even if there's been a threat. Oh, it's a Marshall. That's why it looks so big. Amazing. I love Marshall eagles so much. And even if there's been a threat, then maybe they'll move dens if the cubs are in danger. But mostly it is due to parasite load, probably getting a bit stinky and smelly and dirty. So it's time to move on and find a new den. Ah, yes. This is a long distance visual. But one of my favourite birds, a martial eagle. And they are the largest. That's why when I saw it soaring, I thought, that is a big bird. But sadly, it was too far away for me to actually figure out what it was. Wait, is it a martial? It's just, this monitor does not zoom. The one in Madikwe zooms very nicely with your hand. Maybe we're going to try and get a little bit closer.
Stay up to date with the latest happenings at WildEarth. Discover what goes on behind the scenes and get a weekly recap of the best moments on the channel.
He's got it! And he's straight up a tree!
Sign up to be an explorer and receive our newsletter written just for you and sent straight to your inbox every week. WildEarth Explorers, a club for people who are passionate about nature.
Thank you for joining us and have a fantastic morning.
And you'll find this wherever there's safari. And you'll find this at Djuma, you'll find it at Amakhala, Madikwe, where there's safari operations. The radio communications is a vital tool for us out here to communicate movement of animals, updates on where they are, any tracks that were seen, etc., etc. I think he's going to lie down there for a bit. Look, he's been moving around probably for most part of the night, so he's going to be tired. This time of the day, that's like 8, 9 o'clock at night for us, if you want to compare it. Sleep time for lions now. and sort of regain some energy there. Conserve energy.
Interesting dynamics here at the Dane. This blood, I am convinced. Sorry, I'm processing this. That wasn't a marshal, by the way, it was a vulture. Sorry, my bad. I need more coffee. Can anyone tell me who this hyena is? Because I think I've just witnessed something really incredible. I'm just processing, everyone. Yep, there's blood. I'm convinced we've just watched a deposit of cubs. Yep, I think it's Intima. I'm not joking, guys. We just came. Okay, one little one's coming out. I think this is Junebug. Intima was groaning. She was right inside the entrance, and she looks utterly exhausted, and there's blood on her pseudopenis. Look at her. She's absolutely exhausted. Normally Intima would be greeting little Junebug here, because Junebug... Intima, have you just given birth? I've never seen an adult like that that's not mom. She was literally inside of this termite mound. Soft groans like I've not heard before. And he pulled herself out, and of course now she's licking up all the blood. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen behavior like that before. Yep, definitely got blood on her pseudopenis. But this is obviously the June's Dane. This is obviously the communal Dane. I don't know if I've got that wrong, but you really don't tend to see any other hyena in the entrance like that. We could only see her ears. And it looked like a very pained expression on her face. I don't know if I'm reading this wrong, but Harry, you are happy to see Junebug. Me too, me too. I just didn't expect to see Intima in the entrance. And Tima still looks very young, I think. She's not lost that young approach. And Tima, my girl. I've never seen blood from a pseudopenis either. Darcy Miller, it could be amazing. I could be reading it wrong, but I was very shocked when I came and saw another adult that's not June behaving the way a mother would at the entrance. did see Intima the other day with quite full looking mammary glands. Okay, I'm definitely going to sit here and try and figure out what's going on. But for now, you guys are heading over to Andrew.
Wow, Lauren, you're spending lots of time at that hyena den. Wow, gathering lots of information. Good job, Lauren. Yeah, we here, just sort of in the northern part here of Madikwe Game Reserve, and we've got a lioness here now, and she's got a kill, and we've seen 2 cubs. I'm pretty sure there's the third one somewhere over there, and we saw them yesterday morning, if you remember correctly. I don't know what they've killed, but we do have some impala that are walking around here, and they've just gone behind the vehicle into the bush. So yeah, I would probably say it's probably impala that they caught, or she caught, and she's providing some good, much needed protein to those cubs. Even the cub is ripping away. Look at that. Just great. I mean, this is great. This is our last sunrise safari at Madikwe Game Reserve, and so this is such a great way just to spend a bit of time with the last few moments with something like this lioness and her beautiful cubs, watching the story progress day after day after day, and I wish them all the very, very best in the future. I will be watching, and I will be watching hard. You can see the blood on the mouth there, nice fresh blood. Yes, I was just thinking while we're watching these cubs and this lioness, I was thinking, Lauren has spent a lot of time watching hyenas, and yeah, I would love to know her estimate, her general estimate on how many hours she's actually spent with hyenas and hyena dens. I think it would be incredible to know that. Thousands and thousands of hours. And that is a true case study. If you're going to learn something about something, you can watch it for a very long time, and that is how you're going to learn. So yeah, a lot of dedication put in there. Yeah, Gwen, maybe if you can ask Lauren and then maybe get back to me what she reckons her estimate is. Just great. Wonderful lighting as well. But it's just amazing to think that when we look at her, okay, you can see her quite obviously because the camera's pointing there. Brandon, oh, the cubs start eating meat young, hey? From a month and a half, 2 months, they're going to really start partaking in eating small quantities of meat. Yeah, they have to, not because they have an addiction for meat, nothing like that. It's because meat is protein, it's the building blocks. It's essential. So that in conjunction with fresh milk, and they're going to grow very quickly. And that is essential for the survival of the cubs. If the cubs make it to past their first year and a half, I would say, then they've got a really good chance of, making it through. But now, what was I going to say? Yeah, so they need to grow very quickly. And the mother provides for the cubs in terms of meat, the quicker they're going to grow. And then also, as long as she's in excellent condition and she's eating lots and lots of meat, she's going to be producing that great, strong milk, fatty milk that the cubs are going to need. And as I say, combine those two together and you're going to have cubs growing at such a fast rate. You must see how big they are when they get 2 years. Just 2 years. They're almost fully grown.
Chatting around a fire is an ancient practice that has connected humanity for centuries, and we want to keep it alive in our modern age. As an explorer, you'll have access to intimate gatherings with our naturalists, fascinating guests, and experts where we share knowledge, insights, and stories around a crackling fire. Rediscover the power of connection. Sign up to be an explorer today and experience the magic of WildEarth's Fireside Chats.
So on our cheetah search, we have managed to find a secretary bird.
Good morning.
But what is interesting me, sorry about the radio, let me try and get rid of that. This is very loud. We found the secretary bird, and it seems to be vocal every now and then, so it's calling completely on its own, which is a bit unusual because there's normally a pair here. But at the same time, we've never seen one so still. It has not moved in the entire time that we have been here. It seems to be preening every now and then. It's kind of running its beak through some of its feathers on its wings. But the rest of the time it's just standing really still, and we don't know why. We don't know if it's maybe standing on something, because the way secretary birds hunt, they pounce on something and kick and then they pin it down. Or is it just enjoying the sun? Is it looking for its partner and isn't willing to move until its partner has joined it? I have no idea. But we're so intrigued by the situation that we've actually messaged the secretary bird specialists on Amakhala to say, hey, there's a secretary bird here that's very still. Have you ever seen this before? Because we don't know what's going on. It very well could just be warming up in the sun, and it's just decided it's found a happy spot and it's going to stay here for a bit. But usually when secretary birds are on the ground, they are moving pretty much constantly. You don't see them standing still unless they're on top of a tree. Usually where the nest is, they can spend hours there without moving. But to stand on the ground is quite a vulnerable position, to just be standing. You'll see it is looking around. You can see its head moving. It has been calling. Maybe it's just looking for a partner. Billy, secretary birds are so cool. One of the very unique things about Amakhala, again, is the chance to spend some decent quality time with secretary birds, which we don't really get to do in many other places of South Africa. They're actually very poorly documented in terms of most of their life. We see them, but we don't often get to actually watch their lives play out like we would with a lot of the mammals or even other bird species. So this is a pretty special place. And these are not the two that we've been showing you on the nest. This one is in the far western side of Amakhala, where we look for the cheetahs. Now we know that they've been moving towards one of the bushes, constantly in and out on top of a little tree, very close to here. So we think that they're nesting as well, but to have it standing so still and without a partner is confusing my brain. It also looks like it's kind of maybe trying to sun its back or something a bit. It's got its wings stretched out. So I'm sure you've seen it with hornbills, you've seen it with oxpeckers as well. When they find a nice patch of sun, even if it's on a buffalo's back or on the ground in the sand, they spread out their wings to open up the back to the sun. And it just helps them warm up a little bit. So maybe that's all this one is doing. It's just trying to defrost a bit from a cold night. Well, we're going to stick around and see if we can figure out the mystery, and we'll send you back over to Lauren, where Ntima is back at the hyena den.
All of that. And Tima just got a fright and jumped up, but she's... No. Okay. I'm sure there's a cub in there. 99.5% sure. She's just been in the entrance. We could only see her ear licking something that's not her. I'm honestly sure there is a cub there. And that was fresh blood coming from her. Now, obviously, hyenas usually use natal dens. So we're just going to have to sit tight and try and figure out what's going on. But something just startled them. Junebug ran into the den. And then Tima got up. Me, as a mere human, I didn't hear or see anything. Hey, my girl. This is remarkable. I'm just letting you guys listen. Didn't catch that name, but it would be so exciting if I'm right. Now, obviously, the entrance is deep, and we're actually positioned on a slope, so it's very difficult to see what's going on inside. When she sits down, you'll be able to see how deep she goes. You can only see her ear. So there'll be a lot happening at that entrance right now that we just can't see. I wonder what she heard. It's not from us. We're trying to stay really quiet. And plus, Ntima's used to having a vehicle here. Fascinating stuff. Ryan, not at all. Junebug looks startled, looks completely perplexed. Not at all. She may be a little bit too... I don't know why I keep saying she. I think it's because I used to call Novella Junebug. Sorry. He may play a little bit too rough at times if it's a really new cub, but not an aggressive threat. No, not going to kill them or harm them or anything like that. I am convinced that there is at least one new cub in there. Always willing to say that I could be wrong, but just watching Intima's behavior, normally the adults don't go in the den like that, right in the den. I know Swazi did it for a while. It was unusual behavior. Philemon's dipped in too. I think this was still when we thought Swazi was a boy, actually, and really invested in the cubs. Naturally, it turns out Swazi's a girl all along, but I think we're just going to have to sit tight and keep coming back and visit. And I think there's a cub. How amazing that we get to watch this and witness this. Catherine, if I'm right, it's amazing. Really amazing. I hope I'm right, of course. Be great to see more cubs around. It would be so amazing, Catherine. I'll also have to let Paulie know, because if there is brand new cubs in there, then we have to be very careful about how we handle the den. But let's see if we can hear anything that's not Junebug, or even see any movement. Could be a long process before we get any answers. I remember sitting with Ribbon for days on end at Philemon's dip den too. Days on end waiting for that moment, and we finally got that moment. Just got to be very patient. Now, for those of you that maybe don't know Intima, she is an adult female now. When I met her, she was just a cub. But she is Ribbon's daughter. Ribbon's enforcer, Ribbon's lineage. So this is fantastic news if she has given birth. I haven't seen Ribbon yet, but this might just draw Ribbon to the den. Oh, Lynn, absolutely. I was actually sitting thinking I didn't bring my GoPro with me. Absolutely, but we wouldn't get any closer. We wouldn't interfere. That would really be foolish. But of course, I wish I could see what's going on. But every den is like this. I remember sitting again with Ribbon and we just could not get a view. We knew she was suckling, but we just couldn't see. But trust me, when we do get a view, it'll all be worth it. And Tima's now 6. Wow. Impressive girl.
Those sounds just go straight through you.
All right. Well, you know, WildEarth's mission is to bring nature to the world. And if you would like to be part of our mission, yes, you can just go onto the WildEarth website. It is wildearth.tv, and just go click on the donate button. And yes, and if you need to help us on our mission, please, it'll be very, very helpful. But yes, I just want to thank one of the donations this morning, of course, David Wildthing. Thank you so much for your donation. We do appreciate it so much, and it helps us just to, as I say once again, just to really bring nature to the world and keep things nice and live and interactive with everybody. Wonderful. All right, now I'm going north on Mvubu Road. I have searched high and low. Islända. Look at that, we've got a slender mongoose. It's on top of this termite mound. Oh, and they're always so skittish. They're always very shy. How nice is it to have that mongoose? No, don't run. No, he just ran. No, he won't. They're shy. He's just disappeared. Nice little slender mongoose. Anyway, all right. So we got continuing. My mission this morning so far has been quite a mission. I've been on foot for a bit. I've been tracking, of course, trying to track those leopards down from last night and this morning. Of course, the mating leopards in the area. We went into the drainage line. I looked at every corner so far. No luck. So now I'm going to head now a little bit to the northwestern corner of our camp, maybe towards Gallego shortcut, it's a road that's just to the west of us, and I'm going to try and give that a go there, because it seems like tracks are all heading into this direction. So let's try it out. Let's see if we can get any luck here. Yeah. And the problem now, it's, you know, that's typical. We'll hear the leopards mating during the night and in the morning, but when you get going and when you go out, all of a sudden they decide to stop. It's like they know when to switch off. When it's mating leopards, it's always, you always hear them growling and all that throughout the day, because it's the mating happens every like 10-15 minutes. So yeah, anyway, we'll keep our fingers crossed here and keep trying, just to see. Alright, well, we're going to continue with this tracking. Let's head over to Lauren.
And Tima's back at the den. She seems a little bit spooked earlier. I don't know what that was she heard. Maybe she heard a leopard or a lion that we just didn't hear, and it's just spooked her a little bit. She's gone right in. This is very mother-like behavior. I would honestly be surprised if any adult female did this without having cubs. And then, as I mentioned earlier, Tima's had a really tough time. This is her third time, if she's given birth. And Tambu was a lovely little cub, and he's not been seen for, I think, maybe 2 years now. That was her first litter, and in her second litter, I wasn't here, but naturally, Laurie and Koki, I think, both got harmed by Mowati, the leopard, not the river. So, if I'm correct, if there's a cub here, this is really, really wonderful news for Ntima. She hasn't raised any cubs successfully. And that's tough, because spotty hyenas are so maternal. And of course, females are driven to give birth. It absolutely can be. I'm surprised. There's a few things going on here, because normally in all the textbooks you're told that they give birth alone inside a natal den. This is not natal, this is communal. There's June and Junebug are already here. So that would really surprise me, and it would go against the grain of what you read in literature. But hey, that happens all the time in nature. So that would be really, really surprising. But secondly, from what I've gathered, hyenas do. They put their rear end into the dentrance in a termite mound that they've scoped out and they deem safe. Maybe they've used it before. and they give birth. So from the birthing canal, they normally deposit the cubs straight into the den, and that's the safest way to do it. If you think about it, if a hyena gives birth out in the open, and maybe something goes wrong, or maybe it's a traumatic process, mother and cubs are completely vulnerable to anything that comes walking by. And remember, the birthing process will have lots of cells: blood, amniotic sac fluid, placenta, mucus, all sorts of things that will have a smell that may attract predators. So the safest way to do it is to sit yourself exactly how she is right now and deposit the cubs that way. And then they're straight in the den. They are altricial, a little bit more developed than lions or leopards and cheetah cubs, but they are still altricial. They need to be safely tucked away. And although Intima's very used to cars, I am still trying to be very respectful and just quiet, not move too much. Amber, it would make sense that the afterbirth would be in the den. Maybe Intima's already ate it. That's also very possible. But that blood we saw dripping from her pseudopenis, and it was also on her leg, was really fresh. You can obviously tell fresh blood from blood that's a little bit old, and it was dripping. So it would make sense that the afterbirth would also be in the den, and Intima would just eat it. A lot of animals eat the afterbirth, even wildebeest, just to get rid of it. It's probably full of nutrients, but also just to get rid of the scent. And it's the female's own. It's your own afterbirth. But maybe hyenas in different parts of the world give birth in slightly different ways. I mean, in the Masai Mara, they probably do it in the open, but right next to their underground burrow system. So in my answer to that question, I am very much making it about these hyenas here right now. Not all spotted hyenas use termite mounds because they're not always available. But they do tend to stash their cubs away in burrows, in mounds, in holes. Keep them protected. Now, just to give you the heads up, we might sit here for days, and this is the view we'll have. This might be the view. But if you know me, if any of you guys know me, I'll sit through it. Lionheart, it's your birthday. I don't want to sing too much Lionheart because I don't want to scare Intima, but happy birthday. And that would be amazing if you had the hyena cub born on your birthday. Maybe we just got the tail end of the process, but if I'm correct and Intima has cub or cubs in that den, then it was today. It was definitely 27 July. Whether it was midnight or the wee early hours of the morning or now, it was today. But again, I could be wrong. I'm always willing to accept that I'm wrong. Absolutely, we do get things wrong. And we need a little bit, we need to either see or hear that sound, that squittering sound that's not June bug. Or get a little flash of a head or an ear. But this has just made my day. The prospect of seeing Intima once again become a mommy. Okay, it goes without saying we're going to sit here as long as it takes.
Do you love relaxing at a waterhole with the sights and sounds of Africa all around you? Well, we have some really exciting news for you. From August 1st, Africam is joining forces with WildEarth to bring the majesty of Africa right into your living room with 9 incredible new waterhole cameras from across South Africa and Kenya. Get ready to embark on a new journey. This is Live at the Waterhole.
Okay, now just on the water here, we've got a small family of little grebes, dab chicks. And some of you will remember one of the days we came here and the crocodile swam so close to those dab chicks, it was almost like he was going to do something. And the dab chicks, or little grebes, just stared at the crocodile and there was absolutely no conflict whatsoever. But I think, being winter now, I think that, the water's obviously going to be colder than what it normally is, as well as the land. And I don't know if they are going to feed much in the winter when it comes to crocodiles. Yes, the days get nice and warm, so it's still possible. And it's amazing. Small little grebes or dab chicks. As small as they are, they float on that surface of the water even though a crocodile is present. Some catfish will also take birds such as this. I mean, it's possible. Catfish have been known to take mallard ducks before. But yet, they float around there without a care in the world. Very impressive. Now, while you're watching these little grebes, I'm just going to scan around with the binoculars, see if I can't spot this crocodile. And then yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I can't remember 100%, but we got wind that wild dogs were heading this way. And we parked here again at the dam, second time waiting for them at the dam, and they never came. So who knows? I'm not sure where those wild dogs are at the moment. I think they could be in the west. I haven't heard anything this morning. Beautiful, really nice to be. It's very nice. It's sort of a surreal feeling just sitting here and knowing that you're going to be going home soon. Green lights, yeah, that would be really different to see. I've only seen a fish eagle once go after a fish and grab it. That was in the Timbavati at a place called Mbali Dam. That was incredible. And I had guests with me as well. So a bonus, I got to show my guests that, that my father has seen it many times. I should ask him when I see him again, which will be in a few days, how many fish eagles he's seen catch fish, because he spent 6 months camping in Botswana when he was younger. And in those days, when he was in Botswana camping, it was a very different time. Tourism wasn't as it is now. So really, you go into the bush and it's only you. It's only you. And he got to see a lot. You go jogging in the bush and then hear something calling behind him. And he turns around, a pack of wild dogs is just trotting along after him, just curious as to what he's doing. Crazy times in the bush. Yeah, that's quite an interesting story, how they landed up in Botswana for 6 months. Very interesting story. And it wasn't even supposed to be for 6 months. It was supposed to be for much shorter. And he was super, and still is super enthusiastic about nature and the bush. And the plan was to actually go out there with some partners and find a site. That was my dad's job, to find a site where they could build a lodge or hire locals, get rights or whatever, get agreements, hire locals, find a site, hire locals, start building, and then slowly but surely making a ecotourism lodge. And it never got that far, but he was supposed to be there for I think about 2 weeks or so, and or 3 weeks, I can't remember. And the partners ran out of money. And so they said, okay, well, they're going to head back to Johannesburg. And so they were preparing to leave. And they offered my dad, they said, you can stay if you want. Of course, we're going to come back, but you can stay if you want. Because they could see he was super enthusiastic about nature out of all of them, and offered him to stay. And it turned out that he stayed there for 6 months. Yeah, 6 months. He had to make his own plans, because he only went there with a certain amount of food. And 6 months is a very long time. So he had to really make plans and, forage in the bush and so on, chase fish eagles off their kills. I know it sounds horrible to do, but when you're out in the bush and you're trying to survive and feed your belly, that's perfectly acceptable. So yeah, he would watch fish eagles, they would catch fish, and then go onto the bank to eat the fish. And then my dad would be waiting, and then he would come running out the bush like a madman, arms waving in the air, chase the fish eagle away, and then grab the fish and then eat the fish. Yeah, this is a true story. My dad did this for 6 months, and he tells me the story all the time. He had a shirt that he was wearing, he ripped the sleeves off, and he wore that same shirt for about 5 or 6 months. I have got that very shirt in my cupboard, and I'll keep that shirt with me the rest of my life. Yeah. I wish my father was here to tell the story. Maybe one day I'll get to meet my father. You never know. You never know what happens in life. That's what I love about it. And he can tell you that beautiful story. Wake up in the morning and you find hippo dung sprayed all over your tent. Yeah. Gwen, Paul actually described to me what skoko means the other day, because there's a place called Skoko Pan. So just to fill you in, Gwen just said in my ear now, your dad is skoko. And Paul, that means like you're like, what was the meaning again?
Champion.
A champion, that's it, like a champion, that's it. And there's a place here at Skoko Pan. So I asked Paul one day, what does skoko mean? And he told me what it means in his culture and his language and so on. So yeah, that's how the topic came about. And it's quite interesting that it came through from Gwyn now. So yeah, we can all relate to skoko. Look at these little dab chicks. They're having fun in the water here. Having fun in the sun. Yeah, I've actually seen only once in my life, the dab chicks sitting on the adult's back. The dab chick's chick. The babies sitting on the adult's back while the adult is floating through the water. Like a little tugboat. There's the ringneck doves calling. Lyndon from the UK. Yes, I like it as well. Any natural reflection of anything from nature. Yeah, it's awesome. Paul did a very creative framing with his camera. The other day we had giraffe that was at the water, and then he framed up on the giraffe's reflection, and it was an upside giraffe for the first few moments of that segment, and then obviously he panned back, and then you could see the full giraffe on the edge of the water. I did the same thing at Ukukuyo. I've actually got that screenshot saved on my phone. Yeah, that was also, I found that to be a little bit creative. Lisa also did it with the elephants at Mashatu. Reflections are awesome. The next time you see leopards and lions drinking from water that is still, so when the water is still, the reflection is going to be true. And sometimes when they're about to drink water, they stare at the water, and what they're doing is actually looking at the reflection, and they're looking at you, but not looking at you directly. They're looking at you through your reflection. Next time when you're photographing leopard or lion, look out for that. All right, we're going to send you to Lauren now.
We're still just sitting watching. Nothing much has changed so far. And Tima, I think, she looks exhausted to me. But she's not letting herself fall into the deep sleep. She keeps popping her head up. It's very alert. I hope I'm right. And that's what I love about what we do. We don't always have the answer straight away. It's always about putting pieces of the puzzle together, just like tracking, trying to find the animal. Where have they gone? What are they doing? Here, has she given birth? Why is she behaving like this? Are there cubs? Is there one or are there two? It'd be such a wonderful story if she has. Because many of you have been saying Junebug's so lonely. He needs to socialize. He keeps on trying to play with mom. Mom's too old to play. It'd be such a wonderful thing. Junebug hasn't came back out. Junebug probably thinks this is his luckiest day. If friends are delivered right to your door. I think she'll stay like this for most of the day until it gets too hot, until it gets to that 12 o'clock time, and the sun actually is really hot. It's a survival skit today, but I think I know what I'll be doing immediately after that. Polly, I just want to check I got that right. Do animals hunt hyenas? Which animals hunt hyenas? Lions, definitely. 100% lions and hyenas have quite the relationship, and it's not a friendly one. Frenemies. Completely aware of each other, but do not love each other. Leopards also, maybe not an adult hyena, that's quite a risk for a leopard. But leopards will absolutely go for the cubs, and we know that. In Tima's last litter, 2 of them both got hurt by Mowati. One we definitely know of, and the second we believe also got hurt by the same leopard. It's a game of give and take out here. All the predators, mammalian predators, will kill the other's offspring. without a doubt. And it's not nice to see, it's really difficult to see, but they will. You could easily be forgiven for driving past this and not realizing that an adult hyena is there. She's so tucked into this entrance. Oh, Catherine, you're so sweet. You're in hyena heaven here with me. Me too. It's not much to look at, but if any of you have been watching WildEarth for quite some time, you'll understand this is how it goes. Danes are never easy to view. I think the easiest ones, in my experience, have been the lions when we had the Inkohumas here in 2019. But danes are supposed to be difficult to access. Even leopard danes, wild dog danes, hyena danes. So you may wonder why we're sitting staring here. Why is Johan not moving the camera so much? Because we don't want to. We might get a flash of a cub for 1 second and that's all we need. So sitting at danes requires a lot of patience, everyone. But that is what we'll do. I am a Libra. And with being a Libra comes great stubbornness. A big heart, and very balanced as well, but I'm very stubborn. Just ask Davi. It's very peaceful sitting here. It's turned into the most wonderful morning. Still puzzled by those mating leopards, but I've got my new story now. Okay, it goes without saying, we're going to continue to sit here.
Attention all nature enthusiasts and budding safari rangers. Get ready for an epic showdown in the wild. From July 30th to August 1st, witness our skilled rangers competing head-to-head, racing to identify the most animal species. Only one will be crowned king or queen of the ranger race. Don't miss your chance to be part of this thrilling adventure. Jump on board and join the race.
Heart is pumping right now.
finally, after a morning, wow, I can't even speak and it's 3 seconds in. It's going well. It's a good day. At least it's warming up and my brain is going to start defrosting, hopefully. But after a morning of searching and searching, we have found the 3 male cheetahs, and we can't take credit for it. Somebody else found them. We drove past on the road next door, but did not spot them because they are so flat in the grass, having such a nice cat nap, that I don't think we would have spotted them anyway unless we had almost driven right into them. They had their heads up just now. They have just popped their heads back down to enjoy the sun. But you can see how well camouflaged they are. Look at that. Unreal, am I right? Now you will hear the Game Drive radios on in the background. We are the only people here, but there are others coming to join us. So we just want to make sure that we don't miss any of those important communications between the guides, so that everyone that wants to see them can come in and see them. Oh, pretty boys, you are looking so lazy.
Okay, copy. I'm going to grab a standby if there's one available.
Alright, so if you just joined us, we've got some cheetahs. It's taken a while, but we have managed to at least get a glimpse of them. Thank goodness for that. Now, they are still in the area fairly close to the secretary birds, so in fact they've done about 3 loops, led us all over their tracks. The tracks were coming west and they went back east, and apparently we missed the tracks coming back west again because the boys are on the far western side of Amakhala, close to the secretary birds. It looks like they're having a proper Thursday morning cat nap, and I can't blame them. It's warming up beautifully. I've gotten rid of the blanket, so I can only imagine they're soaking up the sun and starting to thaw themselves out from a coolish night. It's interesting, with the thunderstorm that happened last night, the temperature was very warm, but then all of a sudden it started getting very cold once the rain had actually hit. And so this morning was a little bit of an interesting one. It wasn't freezing, but it wasn't warm either, but enough that the boys are going to want to soak up the sun for as much as possible. Now, it's not a very good view because they are lying down flat, but any time with cheetahs is time well spent. But I would like to see their condition. When I say that, I mean, are they full? Have they eaten? Are they going to be lazy the whole day? Are they going to be here later? That's all information that we can potentially get from having a look at them if they get up. If they've got big bellies, chances are they might stick around. But if they look like they could eat, which these 3 usually do, then they might move. But for now, you can't really blame them for having a little sleep in. As much as cheetahs are daytime active, they are diurnal. They hunt during the day. There's nothing wrong with a little sleep in on a nice sunny morning, especially when the wind is picking up. Look how that grass is blowing around them. Darcy Miller, I knew you'd be excited to see your favourite boys. I can't take the credit for finding them though. So there have been 3 of us working in the area this morning looking for them, and finally on the last road that was checked, here they are lying next to the road. They are very flat, so where they are on top of a ridge, there's absolutely no way to see them from anywhere else other than on, the actual road itself that's right next to them. They're very well tucked away. I feel quite bad though. I don't know if you all remember Pogs. Pogs went on a Ticket to Dream with Jonty in Djuma. She even went mud wallowing with him. So hi Pogs. You're usually watching, so hello. But Pogs came past Amakhala yesterday, went on a lovely day safari, and they were looking for these 3, but these 3 had disappeared. She didn't get to see them in person. But Pogs, at least we found them again. So if you want to come back and visit, come back and visit. It's always nice to see our regulars coming out to explore the hills of the different locations. So thanks for swinging past, Pogs. It was great seeing you yesterday. Oh, these lazy cheetah boys. are so well camouflaged. Honestly, driving up to try and join the sighting, there was another vehicle here. We pretty much had to stop right next to him, and he had to kind of say, okay, the cheese are here, because they're so flat we couldn't see them at all coming from the other side. Came from behind that bush. We came up towards the cheetahs, and there was no way we were going to spot them through that thicket. So I think whoever spotted them must have been coming from this side going down instead of from the bottom coming up. Otherwise they would never ever have spotted them down here. I suppose it's also handy though if cheetahs lift their heads, if there's any movement. That probably also gave them away at least a little bit. Oh, there's movement. Hey, I see an ear flicking. Sarah, I don't think anything else sleeps as much as lions do. They are the kings and queens of sleeping the entire day. So a lion on average will sleep from anywhere between 16 to 20 hours in a day, sometimes even more. If they've eaten a massive meal, they can sleep for up to 23 hours in a day. But I like to think they can sleep all day. They're pros at it, in all honesty. The next up would be leopards. Leopards sleep for probably between 8 and 12 hours a day, but can be as much as maybe 16 if they've had a really good meal and they're very lazy up in a tree. And cheetahs don't sleep nearly as much during the day because they're actually diurnal. So they're active during the day and they might sleep at night, but because they are considered vulnerable to the other predators, they have to be a lot more alert. So even though it looks like they're sleeping now, this is probably one of the only times that all three of them are properly sleeping. Even then, it's a very light sleep. So usually what happens throughout the day, and especially during the night, is they'll be up and looking around and making sure that nothing is following them. So they might sleep for maybe 8 to 10 hours a day, at a maximum 12, 14, but really they don't sleep nearly as much as the lions do. But we're going to stick around and see if they decide to wake up. They seem to be challenging my sentence that I've just said, and I'll send you over to Cedric, who is catching up with the lions.
Fast asleep. He's even snoring. Or is he passing gas? I just heard a funny noise there. But yeah, still got Mohawk, this beautiful male lion. He hasn't really moved much further from where we had him this morning. And I'm sure he is going to remain here for the rest of the day. He might end up going down to Gary Dam just to go and have a drink. But there's also lots of water here in the drainage line, so he doesn't really need to get to the dam area. You can actually get a nice little puddle of water somewhere behind him. But for now, he is doing what lions do best during the daytime, and that is snooze. The whole idea of that is just to know what he's doing. He's busy saving up on energy, conserving energy, and he's going to make sure that later this afternoon, once the sun starts setting, that he's well rested and he needs to move off again, and hoping that he's going to find his pride, the Nkuhuma pride. I am going to, when I get back now this morning to the camp, I'm going to just see if I can get hold of one or two guys down in the south to see if they haven't seen the Nkuhuma pride towards Mala Mala area and see how far south that pride did move. But yeah, we'll take a look. But for now, we're just going to sit here with this beautiful male. As I say, still good condition, his mane is still stunning. Body's still good. He hasn't got an issue with health. Well, he's enjoying the sun. But I don't think for much longer. It will be quite interesting to see if that S8 male comes into the area and Mohawk is here, how that pretty much face-off will go. It'll be quite interesting. Angie, you think he's dreaming of his next meal? Very, very possible. Like Odie says, he's dreaming about steaks and chops. You never know. Or he's just very much fast asleep. But yeah, as I was telling you now about the S8, it'll be quite interesting to if the S8 does come into this area. I mean, I think as both of these males are very much in their prime, and you know, this is also part of the S8 male's territory. So that when I talk about the S8 male, it's another male lion, but it's also a single male lion. He also does not have a coalition, in other words, brothers to back him up. You can imagine the S8 male and Mohawk end up as a coalition. Think about that. But I doubt that'll be, especially at their age, it's going to be very tough.
Hi, my name is Claire. WildEarth has been part of this home for many years as it connects us to the bush and the culture that we love and miss so much. I became an explorer so that other people around the world can get to experience the African bush in this unique way as well. I am beyond excited that I was drawn to win the prize at Ambakala Game Reserve for 3 nights. It is truly a dream come true.
Sign up today and you could be the one experiencing it for yourself.
All we have right now is a paw, but it's a very beautiful paw. And Johan and I definitely heard a cub. If Johan heard it as well, then I feel safe that I'm not just imagining things. There is definitely a new addition in that den. Whether 1 or 2, I don't know. But there is definitely a new addition. How remarkable is this? And you know, I always say that hyenas give birth to a nato den and then they bring their cub to the communal den, and here we have it. I don't believe that's what's happened here. Just like I said, hippos always give birth in the water. Went to Chitwa one day and that was not what happened. It's remarkable, and that's why textbooks are fantastic. Really, they are the tool to getting started. But sometimes you really have to spend time in nature to really see that it doesn't always follow the rule book. Yes, maybe 99% of the time hippos do give birth in the water, but not always. I'm quite far into my career now, and I still love being proved wrong by nature, whether it's underwater, on land. I really believe that Untima gave birth here in this den. She's not going to transport them in her mouth at a day old. Way too risky. She did it here. We are going to give it another 10 minutes or so, but obviously I don't think we're going to see any cub today. I think Untima's going to go into a deep sleep and just keep them nestled under her tummy, encouraging them to suckle. And I don't know what Junebug is doing, but Junebug is in there somewhere. Probably blocked in, actually. Untima's probably plugged her down. So little Junebug's probably stuck in there. I find it fascinating that June's also not here. Izzy, that's a really tricky question because there isn't much available stats. There has to be studies done over long periods of time to really glean that sort of information. So there isn't many studies on spotted hyenas, especially their survival rate, but it is said to be about 50%. As I mentioned earlier, the birthing process is really tricky. It's tricky for mom and it's tricky for the cubs, and not all cubs make it. So that's the hardest part. And then, of course, if there are two cubs, if both make it through the birthing process, a twin litter, then it's very common for one to die. And it's not simplicide like we often thought, but mostly due to the fact that one cub will be bigger and will be dominant. And sometimes can be a bit too dominant over the other one, preventing it from getting milk, preventing it from getting everything it needs, and sometimes that second one, the more submissive one, can die. So it is said to be 50%. Wow, I went in search of mating leopards this morning and ended up with this. Bundu Bash, I know, I want to sit here all day. I've just told Polly, he's also very excited. I will be back this afternoon. We have got the survival skit in the first hour of the sunset drive, but straight after that, I'll be here. But I think all of you knew that. And it's also important to give Untima some time, although she is very used to having vehicles around. Of course, I feel she's just given birth. From the wee early hours of the morning until now. That's what my gut's telling me, so she also needs to rest. As soon as I drove up here and I saw an adult, I thought it was Untima, and I thought, whoa, something is going on. I picked up my radio to my director and I was like, you want to come now? Because obviously if this is the view that we arrived to, well, it's probably not the most interesting thing Johan has ever filmed. But as soon as I saw a head in there, deep in that entrance, I knew it's one of the females. depositing cubs.
How much do you know about what it takes to become a safari guide? How much do you know about being a game ranger? In celebration of World Ranger Day, we are hosting a fireside chat. Come along for some interesting discussions with our naturalists and special guests. From game drives to bushwalks and everything in between, we're unpacking how to become a safari guide. WildEarth, it's in your nature.
Professional field guide in the African bush? Eco Training's professional field guide course can make that dream a reality. This comprehensive program comprises approximately 5 months of theoretical and practical training in the African bush, with highly qualified instructors where participants will complete various certificate courses. You'll learn essential skills such as animal behavior, tracking and identification, as well as gaining in-depth knowledge of the African bush and its ecosystems, all while living in a real-life safari camp. But the learning doesn't stop there. Following the theoretical and practical training, students will embark on a placement program period of 5 to 6 months. During this time, you'll work alongside professional staff and management at a property, putting your newly acquired skills into practice and gaining substantial practical experience. You'll be fully prepared for a fulfilling and rewarding career as a professional field guide. Enroll today, locally or internationally. Take the first step towards your dream bushveld job today.
Well, we're still with old Mohawk. He's now again, as you can see, he's got half an eye open, but he hasn't moved at all. Flicking of the ear, there's a few flies hanging around this side, but I'm sure he will be again this afternoon. We'll try and follow up once again. We didn't really go far this morning. Just as I said, my idea was just really working around this drainage lines, and yeah, well, what a find this morning, finding Mohawk. So I was very happy. There was that one moment when Mohawk was coming down Central Road, and they had that beautiful sun in the background where the sun was just coming up. Oh, that was amazing. It's nice when you got the sunlight in the background, because then all of a sudden you get this, like this sun, it's all the light that penetrates through the mane itself. But yeah, Mohawk is like, yeah, I've done my job for the day, for the morning, and that's now his time off. So just keeping an eye on this. But yeah, single males still do very well. I mean, as I say, there was an amazing male when I was working in the West. There was an amazing male when I was working in the West, and of course he was the Ottawa male. And that Ottawa male, he really looked after the Mangeni pride. And the Mangeni pride was those 4 females, young females that came from the Chilala pride and broke away from the Chilala pride. And he mated with them. He sired many a cub from that pride. And they did so well, but unfortunately for him, I mean, he was a beautiful male. I've got some stunning pictures of that male, because he's got big mane, very dark, goldish dark mane, and quite an impressive boy. But fortunately, he pretty much, how can I say, picked up on a scent of a dead buffalo, and he went to go and, of course, try and see what was happening in that area by himself, because he didn't have any brothers. And when he got to where there was a carcass, a buffalo carcass, the Birmingham boys, of course the males that used to control the northern Sabi Sands, they were there and they got hold of him, and unfortunately they killed him. So yeah, that was a bit of an unfortunate event, but it just shows you, still being a single male, he still did very well. That's why for Mohawk, that he doesn't have his 2 brothers anymore. You know, we all say, oh no, it's like now time is up. No, you know, he's still 10 years old, you're in your top prime, you still got a few more years to go, you know, before you start, you know, your body physique starts deteriorating. But for now, he's still doing very well, and he's got his sons as well. So we saw him the other day, when it was about a month and a half ago, where you were with me, Eddie, yeah. Of course, he was walking up the road with his 4 sons. Of course, they were about at the age of 4 now, and he was walking up the road with them. So he had like the 5 males, and you can just see this male walked with pride. He knew that he still got amazing backing from those boys, and as well from the pride members, from the females. So it'll be good to see if we can just get back to them again. But as I said a little bit earlier, I will go and just try and find out exactly where's the Nkuhuma pride. So that's the pride that he pretty much belongs to there. A lot of flies coming out now. Look at that mane just blowing in the wind. Susan, yes, still keeping the Evoker memories alive. Indeed, Susan, indeed. And very well. That's why I'll, 10 years old, I won't write him off as of yet. He's still got a few more years, and yeah, I'm hoping that we're going to still see him for those few more years. The male lions, when they're looking at territory, they'll usually hold it for about, say, 6-7 years. And then they get too old, and then the younger ones, new males coming into the area, start challenging the older males and pushing the older males out, and then they become nomadic, and as the new blood is in the area, and it's very important, so you don't get that incest. Otherwise you won't find then the male starts mating with the granddaughters and that. Yes, maybe the daughters, but not the granddaughters, because they don't hold the territory for such a long time to do that, and for that to happen. Because if that starts happening, of course, what happens all of a sudden, the gene pool weakens in that pride, and it's not good for the pride itself. So it works out just perfect. 6-7 years holding a territory, and then moving on. And usually when they become nomadic males again, when they lose their territory, that's when they've got their last year, year and a half, 2 years of their lives remaining. And then they don't have a set area anymore, they've been pushed away, and then what nomadic means, they'll just start moving away from their current area. What's he doing? He's like, having a bit of a dream there. A twitchy lip. Yvonne, why is it light brown and dark brown? Yvonne, each line is very different. It's like some of our, it's like our hair. Some of us have got dark hair, some of us got like this dark to light hair. So it's just the way that the colors have come through on his mane itself. And I strongly disagree with a lot of people saying that darker maned males are more dominant. No. I've seen over time, you're looking at a coalition called the Majingalans. Majingalans, of course, there was one called Smudge. He had a smudge on his nose, and he had a very light mane compared to his other three brothers. And he seemed like he was more the dominant every single time when he was mating with the Styx Pride, with even the Nkuhumas. So yes, I don't believe that the dark manes are always the most dominant ones. That's just all genetics. That's just, as I said, light hair, some people got dark hair. Each one is a little bit different. And same as in giraffes. The male and the female giraffes are both dark or light. Genetics once again. But it is beautiful when it's that real light brownish to that kind of black mane that extends a little bit further back. Really stunning.
We love all the support. We read all the comments, and now we want to acknowledge our biggest fans. Do you know when Ribbon was seen last? Or the names of June's cubs? Do you remember the last time we were up close and personal with an elephant? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you are in for a treat. WildEarth's Fan of the Month. We are looking for you. For more details, make sure to read our monthly mailer and keep an eye out on our social media pages. WildEarth, it's in your nature.
But overall, just parked over here looking south towards those hills, it is beautiful, isn't it? As we go further south, we get closer to some drainage lines, and therefore some tambuti start to appear. There's already a big one down the road there, and then also the leadwoods start to appear. Just beautiful. It really is a spectacular morning. Now we've got a bit of chores to do when we get back from the sunrise safari. We're going to need to get the vehicle ready for the next naturalist, who I'm still leaving it for a surprise. We're going to slowly polish the vehicle, wash it down and all of that, do all of that jazz, and welcome the next naturalist who will be arriving sometime this afternoon. I hope we'll be able to join the drive, but I don't think so. So you'll meet them tomorrow. Beautiful. Look at this. This is really nice. We're going to soak all of this in.
Oh, well, it looks like Mohawk has decided to go and lie on his back now, exposing the white underbelly. As you can see, nice and very light at the bottom. Oh dear, as well, many times when they feel they're getting a little bit hot on their back area, then they'll rather just turn over like that and expose that nice white underbelly, so you can keep a little bit cooler. But yeah, he's still fast asleep. Topcat, yes, lions look like they got no care in the world when they're sleeping. Can imagine, he's fast asleep, but no, yeah, you think he's fast asleep, yeah, he is, but he's also semi-conscious. So if I have to get off the vehicle here now, or rustle the grass, or something has to be approaching him, he'll quickly sit up, very quickly. So it might seem like they're fast asleep, but those ears and the nose is still working. So I think it gives him that opportunity to have a good rest, not to have to worry about too much around him for now. But he had his nose up this morning, sniffing away towards this drainage line, towards Gowrie Dam. Because he was moving east along Central, and then all of a sudden he decided to turn, and he came straight back west again. So, you know, whatever he did pick up on, and I think he just wanted to go and investigate. And he ended up here now. But I doubt he'll be here tomorrow morning, unless he makes a kill. But I'm sure tonight he's going to get up and he's going to try and move. Ruthie is dominant over the Nkahuma Pride. Nkahuma Pride. Beautiful pride of lions. 13 members in that pride. And I'm sure he would love to get back to them. But being a single male, people always think, oh, but males, what now? He's not going to eat because he doesn't have the females to hunt for him. No, that is not true. I mean, Mohawk, or Owen, not long ago, about a month and a half ago, witnessed Mohawk bringing down a sub-adult buffalo. With, of course, another younger male, but Mohawk was pretty much the instigator and the leader on that takedown. And not just that, I've seen single males bringing zebra down, impala, kudu. So, male lions, they are quite formidable hunters as well. At the end of the day, if he needs to survive, he needs to eat, Well, and then he needs to hunt. Exactly what Odie's saying now. He couldn't believe the speed of Mohawk on how quickly he took that buffalo down the other day. So it just shows you, even if you're 10 years old as a male like this now, they are still formidable hunters. The strength. Remember, they're larger than females. Males are like about 200 kgs, females 140, 150. I've got sinus today. I don't know, I never get sinus. Today is the first time I've actually got a bit of a sinus. Betty Blue, yes, I'm glad that you enjoyed this sunrise safari this morning. And there were so many awesome stories, some nice sightings, some cats, some hyenas. It was quite a wonderful morning once again. But yes, as always, I'd just like to thank everybody for joining us on this sunrise safari. And well, I'm hoping this afternoon we can get some more amazing sightings for everybody. But for now, we are just going to sit here with a Mohawk and just enjoy the last minute with him, as he is really just enjoying this wonderful, wonderful sun. But yeah, remember this afternoon, please make sure that you do tune in, because there is something very special that's going to happen. And we are very excited to perform this special survival setup. So yes, so yes, please make sure that you do tune in this afternoon for our sunset safari. But yes, thank you so much for all the questions and the comments this morning. Hopefully we could answer as many questions as possible. And yeah, of course, from the WildEarth team, from Mohawk and from Odie and myself here behind Gowrie Dam Wall, and the rest of the WildEarth team, we say thank you so much. Have a wonderful day further. We shall see you this afternoon.